and drinking and using, and boy, you really get partying here the next couple of days. In fact, the whole weekend. You know, but the world would have you think, right, that independence is just a really, probably the ultimate achievement, to be independent. And so much so that I think we've gotten a little wild with that. Right now, I'll distinguish the two, independence and dependence, and that is whatever happens, whatever goes is acceptable, right? That we can cause someone out, freedom of speech, we can just get taken in by our sexual perversion, just do whatever, almost to the point now that we almost think that we can almost commit a crime, you know, at the sake of independence. I mean, it's just getting really crazy out there. And especially out there, the political climate, it's just horrible, right? All in the name of, hey, we're independent, we got this say. But also, if you think about it for a second, sometimes the most insensitive people that are insensitive with their words with others are often the most sensitive themselves. Right? So it's like, you're this and you're that, you're this and you're that. Well, yeah, well, you're this. And like, wait a minute, what? I'm going vengeance now. I'm going crazy here. It's just so crazy. I've noticed that with a lot of people. People who are rough and they think they can just say whatever they want and they're rude to anybody. I don't care what anyone thinks. But the minute you punch back a little bit, you know, there's this almost war that's kind of happening right now. And we do kind of need independence, right? We can't, in a sense, from a border standpoint, logistically, for safety reasons, we do kind of need independence. So in our house, we do have a door. You know, sometimes we live in a condo unit, so we have a security building. People can't just come in and out, so we do have a little bit of a border. But in reality, life doesn't work that way, right? We actually need to depend on others, right? So we call today's Revive message Dependence Day. And we want to be happy about that. We want to be happy that we depend on others. And what's interesting as well, just from the very beginning, in Genesis it talks about, you know, God's looking at Adam and Eve and he says, oh my goodness. Or actually, Adam says, oh my goodness, it's not good for man to be alone. Now, I don't want to be gender insensitive, but what God was saying, and throughout Scripture, all throughout, we're really not meant to be alone. We need others, right? So it's good for not for man to be. It's not good for man to be alone. And on top of that, we depend on other people. I don't care what people say. I'm a loner. I stay in my room. I don't have any friends. This, that, or the other. But the reality is, we do have to depend on other people. We can't go to a store without someone working behind the counter. We can't have a job without someone employing us. The CEO, the owner, has to have employees. So we have on and on and on and on. I can go just forever. And the thing about it is, we also tend to forget that we need to depend on others. An example here. I've noticed, and this is something that I've worked out over the years, and my wife saw a bit of it early on in our relationship. And that is, I used to call customer service, or let's say even a waiter, about a complaint. And I used to just go off on that person, like, how dare you, or this, that, or I'm shortchanged, or you guys aren't this and aren't that. Not thinking that the person on the other line is not the owner of the company. You know, that person doesn't make the policy, doesn't make the rules. They're just sort of just taking the phone call. So I actually learned that over time, the nicer I am with someone, it's highly likely that I'm going to have a pretty good conclusion. Probably going to kind of be working out okay. So even though I'm even dealing with an adversary, someone who I'm actually in a conflict, whether it's legal, whether it's fighting a bill, whatever it is, I have to just be conscious that I'm actually going to have to depend on this person to kind of help me out. And we forget that so easily. In fact, we think that if we have vengeance and if we have rage and if we're going to just tell this person off or whatever, that the outcome, you know, is going to be, you know, what we want. Yeah, there's exceptions to that. There's exceptions to that. That we will probably get the result from just blowing our top. But I've also learned too, and I've seen Scripture all day long, that we actually have to be in a place of encouraging others. We have to encourage the person that we're talking to. So not only are we not meant to be alone, and even if you're behind a laptop in your underwear, like myself, having a business online, I'm still dealing with other people across the country. It's just a fact. It's a reality. So get used to it. Happy Dependence Day, right? Get used to it.